I turned 21 the morning my life detonated, quiet, sharp, and cleaner than I expected. No balloons, no music, no warmth. Just the sound of my dad calling my name from the living room like he was asking for the TV remote. "Harper," he said, standing stiff beside a small wrapped box on the table. My sister, Riley, leaned against the counter with a kind of smirk she saved for days she thought I'd fail. Mom stood near the sink, eyes swollen from trying to keep peace in a house that never wanted it. I didn't even make it 2 steps in before Dad pushed the box toward me. "Open it." His tone was final, rehearsed. I lifted the lid, expecting maybe a key, maybe something symbolic now that I was legally an adult in every way. But inside, a single one-way bus ticket to Denver, leaving in 3 hours. My pulse slammed so hard I felt it in my throat. Dad crossed his arms. "Time for you to figure life out on your own. Good luck out there." Riley let out a loud, delighted laugh. "Yeah, Harper. Enjoy the adventure. Or whatever." Mom reached for my arm, whispering, "Please don't argue. Don't make it worse." I looked at all three of them. The dismissive father, the gleeful sister, the mother too scared to fight, and a strange calm washed over me. They thought they were pushing me into the unknown. They had no idea I had already conquered it. I closed the box, hugged Mom tightly, ignoring the burning behind my eyes, and said nothing. Not one word to Dad or Riley. Not a protest. Not a question. Silence hit them harder than shouting ever could. I grabbed my old duffel bag from my room and walked out the door like the weight of the world had just been removed from my shoulders. Because what they didn't know, what they could never guess, was that I wasn't some directionless kid they needed to toughen up. I was already the youngest co-founder of a tech company valued at $40 million. And the bus ticket? It wasn't exile. It was escape. 3 hours later, I sat on that bus with sunlight strobing through the windows, my phone buzzing nonstop with messages from my business partner, Logan Pierce. 23, sharp jawline, sharper mind, the kind of guy who could pitch an idea at midnight and sign a contract by sunrise. "Logan, you good?" "Logan, you left earlier than planned." "Logan, call me when you land. Wait, bus? Why bus?" I smiled at the screen. "Me, long story. But I'm fine.
See you soon."
But fine wasn't the right word. I was electric.
Free. Determined.
Everything they tried to hold back was now propelling me forward. Because while my family looked at me and saw a failure, Silicon Valley saw potential. Investors saw results. And Logan? He saw a partner who turned ideas into things people actually needed. We built Pulsebite, a private AI security software that had quietly become the backbone of half the startups in Colorado. We were weeks away from a massive federal approval that would push our value even higher. But my family thought I was leaving home with nothing but some clothes and a bus ticket.
Good.
Let them believe it. Revenge doesn't need yelling. It needs timing. Denver came into view, like a city drawn in neon. The bus hissed to a stop, and Logan was already there waiting beside his silver SUV, sunglasses on, hair pushed back like he walked out of a commercial. He looked at me once, just once, and his brows pulled together. "What happened?" I laughed. "My birthday present was a one-way bus ticket." He blinked. "From your dad?"
Yep.
"And you, actually took it?" I did. I threw my bag into the SUV. Because he thinks he sent me out into the wild to figure myself out. But joke's on him, I already did. Logan grinned slowly. "Harper, you know you're terrifying, right? I prefer the term resourceful." He drove us straight to the Pulsebite building, a 20-story tower of glass that reflected the city skyline. Every time I saw it, I felt that same strike of pride. My name wasn't on the sign, not yet, but it was in every piece of code, every pitch, every deal we made. As we stepped out of the elevator, the team clapped. I froze. "Happy birthday," someone called out. A cake appeared. Balloons. Music. My throat tightened, not with sadness, but relief. These people weren't family by blood, but they were chosen. Earned. Real. I thanked them, joked, smiled, but inside something darker simmered. Dad thought he had cut me off. Riley thought she had won some twisted competition. But a week from now, everything would change. Because Logan had big news. Board wants to do a public reveal, he said as we walked into the conference room. They want the world to finally know the founders' identities. You and me, both of us. My breath hitched. A reveal.
Press. Media.
National coverage. My father would see it. My sister would choke on her laughter. They would realize the failure they pushed out built something worth more than they could imagine. Are you ready? Logan asked. I nodded, but my voice came out quiet, controlled. I've been ready for years. That night, alone in my apartment overlooking the city, I replayed the morning over and over. The box. The ticket. The dismissal in his voice. He didn't know it, but he gifted me the perfect origin story. The moment the underdog leaves home and becomes unstoppable. I checked the date. Press reveal in 7 days. 7 days until my family discovers the truth. 7 days until the world hears the name Harper Lane. 7 days until every person who doubted me realizes what they lost.
And revenge?
It wouldn't be loud or messy. It would be beautiful. A quiet headline. A viral announcement. A single photograph that would travel across every screen in the country. The kid they pushed out became the woman they could never keep down. I closed my laptop, leaned back, and whispered to myself. 1 week. Let's make it unforgettable. The next morning, Denver felt louder, brighter, like the whole city was timing its heartbeat with mine. I barely slept, but exhaustion didn't matter. Momentum did. Pulsebite's reveal was officially set for the following Friday. A full media rollout. Press photos. Interviews. And the biggest surprise, our valuation update. Logan said the new estimate was climbing past 40 million.
40 million.
And my family still thought I was sleeping on a bus bench somewhere. Logan was already in the office when I arrived, leaning over a table of mock-ups for the press release. He looked up, slid one toward me, and said, "You like being the storm or the calm before it?" I frowned. Meaning? These, he said, tapping the photos. Option A, bold, powerful, CEO energy. Option B, softer, reserved genius energy. You know, the girl who built an empire quietly. Which one gets better attention? I asked. Option A. Every time. I smirked. Then that one. I want power. No more shrinking. His grin stretched wider. That's the Harper I know. We spent the morning preparing, polishing our speeches, reviewing prototypes, checking every detail. But the whole time, the same thought pulsed behind my ribs. They have no idea. At noon, my phone buzzed with a call from Mom. My stomach dropped, not in fear, but in something sharper. I answered. Mom. She exhaled shakily. Harper, where are you? Your dad said you left without saying anything. Riley's been making comments. It's been awful here. I stared out the window at the glowing skyline. I'm okay. Really? You sound different, she whispered. Stronger. I didn't tell her where I was, or what I was building. Not yet. I wanted the reveal to hit clean, unexpected, unavoidable. Just trust me, I said gently. I'm doing something important. Before she could ask more, Logan called my name from across the room. Harper. They confirmed the event venue. Denver Tech Hall. It's official. I squeezed the phone. Mom, I have to go. I'll talk soon, okay? She hesitated. I love you. I love you too. I hung up and walked toward Logan, trying not to let emotion weaken the adrenaline rush humming through me. So, he said, handing me a folder. You want to see something fun? The folder contained early reactions from investors who had heard rumors about our reveal. Words like groundbreaking, revolutionary, industry-shifting leaped off the page. I let out a slow breath. This is real, isn't it? Logan bumped his shoulder lightly into mine. Harper, this has been real for a long time. You just didn't have a stage big enough for people to notice. My thoughts flashed to my father's expression when he shoved that box into my hands. To Riley's laugh. To the silent ache in Mom's eyes. A stage.
Yes.
I finally had my stage. That evening, Logan and I did a full walkthrough of the tech hall. Rows of seats, giant screens, a polished black stage with our company logo already shining in LED lights. "This is where you stand," he said, guiding me to center stage. "Spotlight hits you from above. Cameras here, here, and here. That screen behind you will display your photo and your title, co-founder and lead systems architect." My chest tightened with a mix of pride and disbelief. Standing there under the lights, I wasn't the girl my father pushed out. I was a woman who built something massive from nothing. "Harper," Logan said quietly, "next Friday, this becomes your world, not theirs." I nodded once.
Hard.
Determined.
Good, he said.
Because after the reveal, you won't just be someone they underestimated. You'll be someone impossible to ignore. I stepped off the stage, adrenaline sparking through every nerve. 1 week until the world knew my name. 1 week until my family realized the truth. 1 week until everything changed. The week moved like lightning. Every sunrise meant another wave of interviews to prep for, more tech demonstrations to polish, more investor calls to confirm. My schedule turned into a battlefield of meetings, rehearsals, and strategy sessions. Logan kept pace beside me like it was nothing, but I could feel the pressure crackling in the air. Finally, Thursday night, 24 hours before the reveal. The Pulsebite building stayed lit past midnight, floor after floor glowing like a lighthouse. Inside conference room 9, Logan and I were locked into a final run-through when my phone buzzed again. Riley. Of all people. A text preview flashed on the screen. "Riley, Mom's worried. Dad says you'll probably ask to come home soon." My jaw clenched so hard it ached. Logan noticed. "What did your sister say now?" "Nothing new," I muttered. "Just the usual assumption that I'm helpless." He leaned forward, eyes locked on mine. "Tomorrow that ends. Permanently." I set the phone face down and inhaled slowly. "You're right. After tomorrow, they won't look down on me again." He didn't smile this time. He just nodded, as if he knew the weight that sentence carried. We wrapped the run-through and stepped into the elevator together. The mirrored walls reflected something wild in my eyes. Fear, excitement, determination, all crashing together. I felt like a rocket seconds before ignition. As the doors opened into the lobby, my phone buzzed again. This time,
Mom.
a voicemail. I played it before I could talk myself out of it. Her voice cracked from the first second. "Harper, I don't know what happened, but the house feels different without you. Your dad thinks you'll come home any day. Riley, well, she's Riley. I just hope wherever you are, you're safe." My chest tightened. Mom never took sides, but I heard something new this time. Regret, worry, and a hint of fear that they pushed me too far. Logan watched me carefully. "You okay?"
Yeah.
I swallowed the lump in my throat. "They think I'm struggling." He stepped closer. "Tomorrow you show the entire country exactly who you are. That's bigger than anything they ever imagined."
He was right.
And the thought fueled me like jet fuel. Friday morning exploded with energy. Reporters lined up outside Tech Hall before dawn. News trucks crowded the street. Photographers adjusted tripods. Even employees from neighboring buildings stood behind the barricades, holding their phones up like something historic was about to happen. Because it was. Inside, the entire Pulsebite team moved with precision, sound checks, lighting cues, video feeds, stage cues. Logan updated our PR team while I reviewed my final notes. 10 minutes before showtime, Logan jogged over with a grin that looked ready to break his face. "Harper. Viral moment incoming." "What?" I blinked. He held up his tablet. A major tech outlet had leaked a teaser. "Breaking, Denver's mystery tech prodigy, to be revealed today." Below it was a blurred silhouette, clearly me. My heart jumped. "We didn't release that." "Exactly," he said. "Someone wants hype. And it's working." The entire press pool doubled in the last hour. I exhaled sharply. Okay. This is happening." A stage coordinator poked her head in. "Logan, Harper. You're on in 5." We walked toward the backstage platform, weaving through cables, cameras, and glowing screens. My pulse hammered so hard I felt it in my fingertips. Logan squeezed my shoulder once. Harper Lane, co-founder, innovator, powerhouse. Go claim it. I stepped up onto the darkened stage, waiting for the spotlight. My family didn't know where I was. They didn't know what I built. They didn't know that in just seconds, I'd become impossible to ignore. The announcer's voice boomed. Introducing the brilliant mind behind Pulsebite Security, Harper Lane. The spotlight hit, and the crowd erupted. The light hit me so hard I almost forgot to breathe. Cameras flashed, screens lit up, and for a second, all the noise blurred into a single roaring wave. I stepped forward, steady, confident, and the cheering grew louder. Thank you for being here, I began, my voice echoing across the packed hall. Pulsebite started as 2 laptops in a tiny rental apartment, and now we're shaping national security standards. The crowd leaned in. Reporters scribbled notes. Flashbulbs burst like tiny stars. But today, I continued, isn't just about the company. It's about the people who believed in building something that mattered. I turned toward the giant LED screen behind me. The graphic shifted. My photo appeared. My title, Harper Lane, co-founder and lead systems architect. The room erupted again. Every camera aimed directly at me. And somewhere miles away, in a quiet house where they thought I had nothing, my family was seeing this too. After the applause, Logan joined me on stage for the product demonstration. He handled the pitch. I handled the tech. We moved like a well-rehearsed storm, sharp, fast, unstoppable. When the reveal ended, reporters surged forward. Harper, how old are you? Is it true you wrote the original security algorithm alone? How does it feel to be one of the youngest female tech founders in the country? I answered everything with confidence, each word carving a deeper space in this new world I belong to. Then my phone vibrated. Dad. Calling. Repeatedly. I let it ring. Hours later, after the interviews, photos, and celebrations, Logan and I stepped outside the venue. The evening sky glowed orange over Denver, and the excitement still buzzed in the air. My phone buzzed again. Another call.
Mom.
I hesitated, then finally answered. Her voice was shaking. Harper, we just saw the news. I stayed silent. She continued, breath trembling. The whole neighborhood is talking. Your father, he's stunned. Riley hasn't said a word since the announcement. I exhaled slowly. I didn't tell you, because I needed space. I needed to grow without being pushed down. Mom sniffled. I'm so sorry you felt alone. I wasn't alone, I said, glancing at Logan beside me. I had people who believed in me. There was a pause so long I wondered if she'd hung up. Then, softly, can we see you? I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. I'll think about it, I replied. But things are different now, Mom. I'm not coming back to be treated the way I was. I understand, she whispered. Just we're proud of you. So proud. Dad in the background muttered something unintelligible, shock, disbelief, maybe guilt. It didn't matter. I wasn't doing this for them anymore. I was doing it for me. Later that night, Logan and I sat on the rooftop of our office building with takeout boxes balanced between us. Denver sparkled below like a city made of ambition. To the woman who just became a national headline, he said, raising a cup of iced tea. I clinked mine against his. To the guy who believed in me before anyone else. We sat in comfortable silence for a moment. The air felt warm, steady. You know, Logan said softly, your family's reaction doesn't define your success. I know, I replied. But it feels good to finally stand on my own, to prove them wrong without saying a word. He smiled. You didn't just prove them wrong, Harper. You built an empire they can never take credit for. That hit me deeper than I expected. I leaned back, staring at the city. Life feels different today. It should, he said. You earned every second of it. He wasn't wrong. I had walked out of my home with a bus ticket and a duffel bag. Now I stood on a rooftop overlooking a company worth $40 million. a company I helped build, a future I claimed myself, and a chapter closing exactly the way it needed to. Not with revenge through cruelty, but with success so undeniable it silenced every doubt. A happy ending?
No.
A powerful beginning.